And so, you know, I think what performance management is it's the conclusion of giving people feedback in terms of where they stand inside the company. You know, the top 20, you're always going to have a top 20 of people that are excelling and that you need to you know, make sure that they're retained, promotions are going well. We rely heavily on people in the middle of this company. Their experience, their drive, things like that are extremely important in GE. And the bottom 10 is not meant to be cruel. It's meant to say it doesn't work for everybody, that there's times where people have to deal with honesty and performance and go someplace else.
You're asking me, how do we spot a 33-year-old and put him in job A and job B in a company of this size? Well, I have to keep going back to what I tell you. What is your job? If you believe that's your job, to field the best players, you've got to be looking out for them all the time. Business is a game. In order to win, you've got to field the best team. To me, I felt that from day one. I always had my human resource person as my partner. The chief financial officer was always there. But secondary in their role to the human resource manager. The human resource process in GE, and I think it's the same way today with Jeff, is part of the strategic plan. It's part of the directional force you're going. If you don't put your best players on every single thing you say is important, you have no chance.
When I look at our company, when I look at the economy today, or any company today, the challenge is growth. I mean the challenge is 100% around growth. You know, so our strategy, you know, what Bill and I have to work on is, what are the things that good growth companies do? What do we have to be good at? Technology is number one. So Session C this year was really a study of engineering. Our EDC class this fall is going to do a study of best practices on technology and engineering. You got to have great sales forces, sales and marketing. So Session C, we dig into what are the traits that every good commercial organization should have. If the U.S. economy is going to be slow growth, we got to be big in Europe, we got to be big in Asia. Session C again focuses in on global talent. Where do we stand in the organizations? A year ago, Bill changed all of the courses now. 50% of the attendees are from outside the U.S. So every initiative I'm thinking about gets translated immediately into Crotonville, Session C, you know, recruiting, where we're going to campus, you know, all the things that we do just line right up with that. I mean, that's how we think about driving change. I never think or talk about line versus staff. You know, it's never been part of my nomenclature. It's never been the way I've thought about things. I've always spent a lot of time with my HR leaders and finance leaders and legal folks, and I don't pigeonhole them in any conventional roles. In other words, Bill plays not just in HR, but plays in strategy. Keith plays, who's our CFO, in a number of different areas. So I tend to make everybody kind of play their functional field, but also play a leadership job. And, you know, in a tough world, everybody's your brother. You know, you're looking for everybody to give you an idea and give you a thought about things, and it kind of all worked that way. You know, I really was shaped by, I grew up in sales offices the first 5 or 6 or 7 years where there was no support. And so when I started running businesses and I finally had a finance leader and an HR leader, boy, I glommed onto them, because I was, you know, when you're a sales manager, you do all your HR work, you do all your finance work, you've got no help. And when I finally got high enough in the organization where I actually had some resources like that, I just grabbed them as fast as I could and made them a real partner. It was such a relief.
We have a matrix organization set up so that my senior HR leaders that serve the people like the Dave Calhouns and the John Rices in the field, they have a dual reporting relationship. They report and spend probably 80% to 90% of their time with the business leader, and maybe 10 or 15% of their time with me. But they're two direct lines of reporting relationship, and they've got to be able to work that matrix and work it well. Because when it comes to promotability, it's more of a 50-50 proposition between the business leader and myself as to whether these individuals get promoted. I think the value added to the business leader is that they're a sounding board for the business leader. They're someone that the business leader can talk to on issues that revolve around people, key problem areas. They are very, very involved in all of the decisions around succession planning, around problems from time to time where there's problems in the group. They would be the person that normally the business leader would probably talk to first.
What I would say about GE is that we have a system and we're dedicated to our system. People can sit there and say, you have a stupid system. I say, okay. But we're consistent to ourselves. And I think that's a lot about leadership, is just being consistent to your own standards. And that's what we try to do.